For instance, there's multiple methods for verifying eligibility and benefits in a practice. We can call, we can fax, we can go to an insurance company website. So what we did is drill down and found out exactly how long it takes, or an average of how long it takes to use those different methods. And then we multiply out and show practices what the savings is. For instance, when you pick up the phone and call an insurance company to verify eligibility, it takes an average of 10 minutes per call.
Wow.
You know, folks think that I'll just call quick, but it's never a quick call. You know, versus 2 minutes to verify eligibility and benefits using a product like MDE's.
And there's obviously
online.
a cost to that, but there's an even bigger opportunity cost of how many potential patients called in that you couldn't take their call because you were on hold and didn't want to start over, or you flipped over and then had to start over. So now it's not a 10-minute call, it's a 15-minute call because you called twice for the same thing.
Exactly. And I think people aren't aware that time is your most precious thing in your practice. And sometimes it's hard for people to understand that you pay your employees to do a task, and the amount of time it takes is equal to how much money you're spending for that task.
Sure.
For instance, you know, your overhead in a practice, what's your highest percentage of overhead?
Staff salaries.
Absolutely. So why wouldn't you protect that and shave off the time? You know, we find that folks that really drill down and put pencil to paper and reduce it to the ridiculous truly see the savings.
Yeah, I would imagine, not to mention the simplicity, the accuracy, all those other things. 'Cause I suspect there's a lot of people that instead of doing the verification process, they guess.
Absolutely. And 2/3 of all denials are linked directly back to not verifying eligibility and benefits.
Wow.
And so when you think in terms of time, when you get a denial, what happens? You have to pick up the phone, you have to call that insurance company, you have to resubmit. You're doing everything twice. And it's just a huge time waster. We recommend verifying every patient, every visit.
And then I would assume if there's a denial, perhaps there's not a way to circumvent it. So now you're going back to the patient who has an expectation of coverage and having to look at them and go, hey, sorry.
Exactly.
Sorry, you didn't have coverage and now we need $1,000 from you or something. And I got to believe that doesn't go over big at all. So now you've not only wasted a lot of time, but you've perhaps lost a patient as a result of inefficiency and inaccuracy.
Absolutely. And you know, we all are familiar with this, that in today's economy, change happens very, very quickly. Employers are trying to make their benefits affordable for their employees, and sometimes that means things change rapidly, whether it's the insurance company itself or the benefit levels. And most often, and I bet your viewers will agree with me, that the patients aren't even aware of those changes. So I know we all get in the mindset it's not my responsibility to know my patient's benefits, but it is your responsibility to watch out for the profitability of your practice. So it's important. It's that step that you take. It builds patient loyalty as well as gathering information.
You know, speaking of patients not knowing their own benefits, it's amazing to me how often I'm in a practice, and as I'm sitting in the practice, the patient walks in, the staff member says, hey, can I have your copy of your insurance card? And what do they give them? A medical insurance card. And of course, all of you sitting out there watching are laughing right now because you have this happen all the time. Patients don't have any idea what they're doing. I mean, they're truly clueless, and I don't say that to be mean. It's just it's challenging for you guys. So anything we can do to increase that perception for them is not only going to add value, eliminate confusion, but imagine if if as a patient you're comparing Office 1 versus Office 2, your previous office where they did a lot of guessing, and then they came back looking for more cash, and then you end up in another practice for some reason where their guesses aren't guesses because they know exactly what they're doing. They're dead on every time. And now we don't have this patient perception issue of my office not really knowing what's going on. Who do you think is more likely to get more referrals?
Absolutely. And I like to tell people too, there's two things that people take ownership of, and they appreciate it when you do as well. Their name. So always use their name when you're walking in the door and you're addressing a patient, and their money. When you protect your patient's money, they're going to have a loyalty to you that's on a completely different level. So
I would absolutely assume so. And their health. I mean, which of course
Absolutely.
is the goal for all of us. It's
Mhm.
just some of us don't do a great job of telling that story of
Mhm.
we're there to protect your health. And some patients have the perception that some dental offices are just about the business. And